All right, everybody, welcome to our group discussion. It's been a minute since we've done this. I've been kind of dealing with people one-on-one because everything's been so crazy. But most of y'all that were in the group back in November, remember I got that portfolio deal, and I was trying to figure out how to make the deal work, and we made it work. So did the crowdfund. It maxed out at like $1,070,000. Actually about to buy the building next door to it too. So gonna end up controlling that.
Congratulations on that, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt.
So yeah, man. So we're gonna keep moving. It's just the same creative financing techniques that you use on the single family I use on this. So it was pretty cool to see it all come together. Today, what I want to talk about is, as we try to keep everything exclusive within the community, my guys now have their own skip tracing service, and there's nobody I trust more than these two in Houston for this. So I wanted to let them get on here and show y'all this service. So a lot of y'all already use Any Deal, which Brian came on in here and presented a while back. I'm telling y'all to use that to get your three offers together. So now Brian and Byron have partnered up, and now they got the skip tracing business as well. So I'm just gonna hand it over to them. Whichever one of y'all want to go, y'all can take it and run with it from here.
First things first, I just want to thank Chris for allowing us to come and speak to you guys. And first, how y'all doing? Let's keep it informal, man. How y'all feeling? Let's see what's that. Kevin got a few deals cooking, man. Best of success to you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a blessing, man. A lot of people in this industry, they just don't take action. They see it and say, "Oh man, I've been looking at that video I've been watching for 2-3 years, and I just want to get started." So hats off to you. I don't know how long you've been doing it, man. Blessing, man. People closing deals and taking action.
I was once one of those sideline sitters too, so I got tired of sitting on the sidelines seeing everybody's doing it, and I just jumped in the game. So that was key to it. It's like double dutch. You got to jump in.
Definitely keep winning. But for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Byron Iregbu. Real estate investor here in Houston. I'm living in Fresno right now. We kind of do everything in Houston and the surrounding areas. We go out all the way out to the Golden Triangle as well, because I was there for quite a while. Before going full time in real estate, I was a high school science teacher. I taught high school biology and IPC for like 4 years, and then I got into real estate in 2014. And kind of straddled the fence with the corporate versus and the real estate. Bought a lot of deals like creatively to build the portfolio until I was comfortable that the passive income from the rentals replaced the income, and then I left. But what we wanted to talk to you guys about today is our skip tracing company. It's the data that we used to hit our first $100,000 a month in February. That was a big major feat for us. You guys, this is the exact same data that we use and we stand by. So that's a little bit about introduction to me. I'll let Byron kind of introduce himself, and then we'll get into the product and how I can help you guys.
You forgot the 100K week, bro.
So I'm sorry. I just assumed you guys probably already seen that. I know it's on YouTube, but it got like 22,000 views, and it's been 7 days. So, so last month we had a $100,000 week, $130,000 week through the 5th. So it was that June 5th? What month are we in? July, right?
July.
Yeah. So it was June 5th through the 12th. June 5th through the 12th, we closed total of was 12 or 13 deals.
It's like 13, something like that.
13 deals, all one-off. It wasn't any package deals with multiple properties from one seller. They're all one-off sellers, and totaling about a 129, I think. And all of it came through the data that we provide. Of course, yes, it's more involved. Yes, we have a team. Yes, we have systems, but it all starts with a lead, getting in touch with the right person, and building that rapport, and vetting the lead and making a deal work, whether it's traditionally or creatively. So enough about me. That's boring. My partner, Byron. I know you guys see me on social media a lot. But man, I got to give a lot of credit to Byron, man. It really kind of, holds everything together. He excels in the things that I don't, right? And so I want him to, tell a little about himself.
No doubt, yeah. So I'm Byron, co-owner of Wonder US Property Group, and with Turbo Skip as well. And been investing for probably a little over 2 years or so. I come from like a completely different background, nursing background. I made it into administration and nursing, and now I'm pretty much full-time real estate. I still work every now and then just for the hell of it. I don't really need to. I probably work maybe about 3 or 4 days a month just because I work my ass off to get that nursing degree. And I'm like, yo, like it got to mean something, you know what I mean? So, but other than that, man, it's like what we found, and I think the difference between some of the data that we pull, and that's the reason why it was important that we kind of shared it, is that a lot of skip tracing companies right now are using more so data append, which I don't know if y'all know the difference between data append and actual skip tracing. So before data append became the new thing, most people, like, it was physical people who literally searched records, matched it, and made sure that the information was the highest in terms of accuracy. But now that we have data append services, because we've skipped a lot of the records, all it does, you just run a computer software and it just attaches numbers that sound like or have been associated with a particular record. So we do that as well, but we also take it that second step. And we have physical, real human eyes put eyes on the data to make sure that data is correct. So it's a 2-step process, the data append side plus the human side. And that's the reason why I think we've been able to achieve so much success in terms of aggregating a lot of different accurate data. Now, does that mean that all the data is 100% correct? No, that doesn't mean that. You're going to still have those records that are just not right, because people change numbers like shoes these days. You know what I mean?
Especially when you got 15 investors calling them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, but, it's definitely key when you can get really, really good data. So turboskip.com, I'm gonna type it in the browser here. And if y'all want to check it out,
let's see. We can do a screen share real quick.
Yeah.
I think that'll be easy. I think so host disable participant screen sharing. Chris, if you go to security at the bottom, you know how to do that. Security, and then allow participants
or multiple participants to share.
Yeah. It's like a little security badge. It should be next to participants.
Let me see here. Bottom. Chat, share screen. Allow participants to share screen.
Yeah.
Sir, right. That's a magic button.
All right, there we go.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and pull it up, Byron, while some deals closing. All right, let's see.
And what we'll do too, Chris, we're gonna get a special code for you and your students to be able to get a discount as well. So okay. I'll get with the web guy. We'll get that done.
Dope.
Yeah.
Do you have a social media page for it yet?
Nah, just
okay. All right, I'm gonna do a swipe up for y'all on my stories. All right.
So I'm gonna Google. Where am I? I'm in Chrome. Oh,
there we go.
There we go. Turbo Skip. Okay. All right, so when you first come to the, and we need to start piling up our testimonies, because we got quite a few. So when you come to the page, of course, we got our spokesperson, giving more details about what Byron was speaking about the accuracy of the data. I mean, we're talking about credit bureau, level data. Yeah, like credit bureau, same data the credit bureaus are using to get in touch with you when you owe them some money, right? And so data append, like he said, is basically computer software matching up associated numbers so you can get that information instantly. But again, speed does not always beat accuracy, right? So how you come here, basically, here's the pricing. Like Byron said, we're going to work with getting you guys a discount code. We haven't actually given any discount codes before, but Chris is a good friend of ours, and we respect what he's doing in the community and for us, right, our people. Not only that, Chris was the one that handed me. Chris and Tony was the one that handed me off the lead to even make me jump out here. So we're gonna hook you guys up with a discount code. So how you do it? Basically, let me see. Let's see. All right, so we would start a search, okay, for your records. All right, and it's gonna tell you the template format. Let me go back right here. So let me see, format. And of course, for the template format, you always want to have it like this. Open the file. Text, so let me see. There we go. I got all kind of stuff. Look. All right, so basically, this is the format you want to always upload your records in. You want the first name, you want the last name, you want the property address, the city, state, and zip, okay? So first name, last name, property address, city, state, and zip, all different columns. This is the format that you want to get the most accurate results, all right? So you don't want to put the first and last name in one column. It's not going to give you the most accurate results. You don't want to, have the wrong zip. So you want all of this information in here to be able to get the best results possible. So you come to Turbo Skip, you start your search, or you can also start your search for up here at the top. Now, depending on what type of records, you have full-time workers or whatever that's verifying everything. So depending on how many records you want to skip. So let's say you're skipping, let's say you went and pulled, I'm in Fort Bend County. Let's say I went and pulled Fort Bend County tax delinquent list, right? That's going to be a pretty big list. Or I can just, something real niche like Fort Bend, Fort Bend probate list or code violation list. You do Harris County, Montgomery County, we market in all those counties, Galveston County, etc. right? So let's say I got less than 1,000 records. We click here, add to cart. Is going to ask you the quantity of how many records. So let's say in that Excel file, I had a total of 1,600 records. All right. So I'm skipping 1,600 records. I'm gonna view cart, add the cart, and then after what's gonna do is it's going to, in the promo code. So the promo code I give you guys, you're gonna put it in that last page where it just asks you for it. And then after you fill out all of this information, it's going to ask you to upload, your list. And you remember the file that I showed you guys, you should put it in right here. So you're going to have this saved. You're going to upload it. And as far as the records come back to you in 24 to like 48 hours on average, depending on if it's falling on a weekend or so. Like I said, it got a full-time worker that she gets records and she sends them out and she does her thing. So guys,
hey, Brian, quick question, do you recommend them putting the property address that they're looking for or the owner's address?
Yeah,
that's a great question. So look, so as far as the template, property address, but if you have both, I would actually put both. So what I would do here, so check this out, because you can never have enough data for us, right? The more data we have, the more we can provide. So great question, Chris. I would have first name, last name, property address, okay, property city, okay, property state, but I also would add a couple columns and put mailing address as well. All right, so that's more, because like I said, it gives the skip tracer more to work with. All right, and if you're pulling lists off of anything like List Source or anything like that, it's going to give you the option to have the mailing address and the property address. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, makes sense.
Let's say it was an absentee owner. If it's an absentee owner, you're normally going to have 2 addresses. You're going to have the property address that you see that appears to be distressed or the lead, right? And you're also going to have their mailing address where they're actually laying their head at every day, right? So to answer Chris's question, here's our format. But if you have extra data, put the extra data in. So if you have the mailing address as well, add the mailing address.
Exactly. You could do either or.
Cool.
Yeah, more data always gives you more to work with.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, while I'm, we don't want to take too much time on skip tracing. It's pretty kind of clear cut. I mean, we find either leads are referred to us, they come, right? You're paying money for marketing, or you're going out and you're finding opportunities of things that look like potential, deals. If the opportunity didn't come to you and you're going to the opportunity, you're going to need to find a way to get in touch with these people. And so there's no better way than to skip trace. Of course, you have things like door knocking, sending mail or things like that. Those things can be very expensive. In this day that we live in right now, the quickest way is going to be the phone or text. So you skip trace a bunch of numbers. Now that you skip trace, you now can call these people, you can text message these people, or you can send these people a voice broadcast. So it's really efficient. It helps you to get your cost per lead way down. Because, postcards can be anywhere from 36 cents, 30-something cents if you're outsourcing with a different company, to upwards of 99 cents if you're sending it through something like Deal Machine. A strategy I recommend sometimes is use Deal Machine because it is a game changer. It's how efficient it is to get all the information. But use something like Deal Machine, you don't have to send the postcards out. Those can be expensive. Load up everything on something like Deal Machine, get to your laptop, all right, or your desktop, export the list, skip trace it, and then start to do your business. Text message, cold call, get them on the phone, close deals, cash checks.
Save a whole lot of money that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
any questions for us, guys?
Pretty straightforward.
All right, anything while, anything outside of skip tracing while you guys have me for a few minutes? Okay, good. Well, I don't want to impose. Thank you, Chris.
I know somebody got a question.
But I don't want to hear nothing from me.
Richard said yes. You got a question, Richard? You want to unmute?
Yes. Hey, Byron, my name is Risha. I know you do the creative owner financing.
Yeah.
And the strategies. I just wanted to know, like what house is who's a good candidate for the owner financing strategy? I know every house isn't a wholesale.
Right. Okay. So there's different types of owner finance deals, right? You have owner finance, which is free and clear. The person does not owe a mortgage on the property, right? So that's one type of owner finance. That's what most people are familiar with. They own it free and clear. Let's see if they're willing to owner finance. But there's another type of owner finance where I really put it in the creative bucket is a wraparound mortgage, all right? Wraparound mortgage is simply an owner finance transaction when there's an underlying lien on the property. This can be somebody else's mortgage. This can be your mortgage, right? Or you could have owner financed the property, but there's an underlying debt on the property. So to answer your question, what qualifies? It is a seller that is motivated and they are flexible in the way that they receive their payments. Kind of like Chris have demonstrated for you guys countless times. I know he's doing it with multifamily, but it's the same thing. It's someone that they want a certain amount for the property and they're flexible in how they receive it, okay? I'm giving an example. $100,000 ARV. Let's say repairs around $20,000, right? Let's say wholesale, especially in the so-called recession that we're in, I would be offering that seller somewhere between $40,000 to $50,000 cash. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They might say yes. They might go for it because they're motivated. However, they might I'll burn it down before I sell it to you for $40,000. I can't take $40,000. You guys calling me lowballing. All right. If that seller is flexible, while all the other wholesalers are offering them $40,000 to $50,000 on a $100,000 house, I can offer that same seller $70,000 and it'd be a home run deal because they're willing to take the payments over time. And the beauty about real estate is called leverage, because when we purchase the property, we're not going to be paying the mortgage. The tenant is. Okay. So a great candidate for a deal like that, especially for someone that's not really that isn't ready to invest a lot of money, is a property that is habitable. All right. Ideally, is habitable. Okay. And the seller is flexible. I'm gonna say it again. So the answer to that, what qualifies for a deal like that, is a property that's habitable. Why does it need to be habitable? Ideally, because you can leverage someone else to pay that mortgage every single month. You cash flow. So habitable, and the seller is flexible. Does it need to be habitable? No, but that now we're starting to get advanced, because now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in private money to fund the rehab or the repairs, or we're going to leverage our tenant buyer, our owner finance buyer's capital, right, to fund the repairs to get it rent ready. And that's another. It's not. That's really simple too. Is the deal has to make sense for the investor, that they're secured in the money that they put up, and we normally secure that with a a note, right? Just record it against the property at the courthouse. Okay. But simply put, Risha, is when you're trying to wholesale deals, if you have a seller that's stuck on a price, however, they don't need it right now, propose seller financing.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. And check this out. I'm gonna step it up. I can get a seller more money than they would get listing it with the realtor if they could accept my terms. And that's usually unheard of. If you're a homeowner, and we tell homeowners all the time, and it's a part of the strategy. We tell homeowners all the time, because the best way to do business is just being transparent. And you'll get testimonials. Most people in this game, they don't have any testimonials from buyers. We're archiving them. We're stacking them up. Even the biggest in the game, most people don't have any testimonials. Mm-hmm. So check this out. When you talk to a seller, the fact that you can have that seller make more money working with you than working with a realtor, that right there is usually an easy sell. If they're flexible, they don't need the money right now. Because usually we tell a homeowner straight up, we're honest with a homeowner, look, Mr. Seller, I don't know if we're your best fit. If you're looking to get the absolute most out of your property, right, and get top dollar, I strongly suggest you list the property with a realtor. As an investor, Mr. Seller, I would love to cut realtors out of our pockets. We're trying to make the most money as possible normally after we fix the property up and resell it. However, we found that in our experience, we always net the most money when we list it with the realtor, and we tell them that. And we let them know what comes with it. However, to do that, you're normally going to need to invest money in the property. Mm-hmm. If the inspection comes back with some things wrong, you better guarantee that buyer is going to do a price reduction. This is not even wholesale. This is traditional real estate. The appraisal, like all of this stuff, the showings, all of these things. So, seller financing is gold. And of course, if they have a mortgage, subject to, as well. So flexible sellers, that's what we look for. Years ago, all we were looking for was equity. I don't care about equity anymore. When I say that, it doesn't need to be so tight that if we got in a jam, we can't liquidate, but going to list source and pulling, really deep, like they need to have 80% of equity. We feel like we miss out on a lot of money doing that.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, what are talking about the seller financing and analyzing that deal? What are the numbers or the parameters that you usually stick to make sure that you protect yourself and make sure that it's a good deal?
Great question. So it's usually an equity or a cash flow thing, right? Either I don't want to be more than like 85% of the as is value, okay? Or if I'm going up to like 90 or 100%, I'll go up to 100%. I'll pay 100% of the value of the property under a few terms. Yeah. If I'm buying a property with 0% interest on a 30-year term, I'll buy it at 100% of value. Because within 12 months, 24 months, you're going to have a shit ton of equity.
Okay.
If your monthly payments every single month is principal only, and you're paying $800, in 2 years, you're going to have more equity than someone else that have a 4% interest rate. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They upload that. They upfront the interest.
They front load the equity. If you buy a car, you buy a house, you notice that usually the first 3 to 5 years, you're not getting anywhere. You know, it's just interest on the back end, how amortization schedule works. That's when you start eating up that principal. So there are circumstances where I'll pay 100% of market value if the terms make sense. And anyone that is really seasoned in the business, there's multi-millions over, they've been in the game, they're not a fly-by-night, they've been in the game 20 plus years, they'll tell you that sometimes it makes sense to pay 100% of market value if the terms are right. The terms have to be right then.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, man.
It has to be right. I don't advise you guys to be buying properties with no equity unless the terms are right. There's exceptions, so you got to know what to look for.
Okay, appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Guys, if y'all know, I know some of y'all knew, but we talked about this early on. But if you have a conventional mortgage, anybody that buys a regular house with like a 4.5%, 5% interest rate, by the time you pay that over 30 years, you paid about 180% of what the purchase price was on that home. By the time you pay bank up.
Bought it twice.
Yeah.
And another thing, so somebody asked about the parameters is, so two things. I want to be in a position where if I had to liquidate, I can liquidate. And the other thing is I usually aim for at least $300 cash flow. The only way I'll take under $300 cash flow is because it's the give and take. Investors buy properties for two reasons, either equity or cash flow. Equity or cash flow. So if I don't have the cash flow I'm looking for in the deal, maybe it doesn't cash flow a lot, but there's an equity play. Maybe I'm selling it on an option. Maybe I'm wholesaling it, right? I'm not cash flowing very much, but when I sell it, there's a big payday at the end, you know, $30,000, $40,000. So it's just kind of like a case-by-case basis, but you know, if I want to give you guys a guideline to stay safe, I would say $300 cash flow, max 85% equity.
There we go.
85% all in, so 15% equity.
Cool. All right, anybody else got anything?
I got one.
Go for it.
Hey, as far as let's say like subject to, how much capital would you suggest that somebody should save up just in case you don't get tenants in there right away? You still got to cover that mortgage.
Great question. So my original mentor told me, and it still sticks to me, 2014, man, he said, first, Brian, I want you to learn how to make money in real estate without money before you learn how to make money in real estate with money. Mm-hmm. And I was like, wow, what does he mean? And he also told me, and I went against the grain, he said, don't get a real estate license right now. I'm going to tell you when to get a real estate license. When you get a real estate license, it's a license to print money. However, learn all of this stuff first before you get it. And I was like, no, I'm gonna get it right now and make more money. So, and then I ditched it like 3 months in, like, yo, this ain't the way. So you don't need to have capital saved to buy your first subject to. If you do it strategically, there's a term I say as far as closing naked. If you don't have capital in your pocket, because that's true, there is the mortgage payment. And the last thing you ever want to do is hurt someone's credit, right? So what you do is if you don't have capital, you can choose to save some capital, but I'm not going to say that's a prerequisite. The prerequisite is OPM. You need the money, but it doesn't have to be your money, all right? So what you can do is if you purchase a property subject to, maybe you line up the buyer on a lease option, on an owner finance transaction, and their down payment or their option deposit is the capital you need, and be responsible. Put that away so in the event that they stop making payments for 3 months, you can pay those 3 months. If somebody gives me $15,000, they can move in this house tomorrow and they could not pay for 4 months. That's cool. Guess what? I'm gonna get it back.
In bands, yeah.
And guess what? I'm gonna get $15,000, $20,000 down again. Listen, guys, if you got a mortgage of $1,000, let's say $1,000 a month, somebody gives you $15,000 a month, how long can you pay that mortgage? Over a year. You can pay that mortgage over a year and just be, just coasting. However, of course, we're doing this for profit, so you don't want to take the whole $15,000 and lock it in a safe, right? But you can definitely take, 3 to 6 months if you like, and just put it away. And it's for that exactly, just in case someone defaults or stops paying. But that's a great question. Cool, I got a property right now that that we're working on getting somebody out that they haven't paid in 4 months. Guess who's been paying the bill? And that's what you should do, because the person you purchased the property from and told them you was going to take over on the mortgage, that's your name and that's your agreement. So it's just real estate. It's called holding costs. So did that answer that question?
Yeah, most definitely, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So you can do that with private money as well. I mean, if you don't leverage, let's say if you wanted to keep it as a standard rental, you can leverage private money, right? Somebody can, put up $5,000 or whatever, and you can pay them back using your cash flow. A percentage on what they, put up.
Especially like in rehab situations too.
You guys quiet on me. Do you guys did y'all get anything? You guys get anything from that?
Yeah. Tony got a question.
Let's say you have like a property, let's say like you need a lot of work and there's a mortgage in place. Can that be like a situation, is that like a bird play to where, let's say you want to pick the property yourself, maybe move into it? What kind of options can you do with that? Or that kind of be hard money coming in the rehab, but if it's need a lot of work done to it?
So you said it has an existing mortgage?
Right.
Okay, cool.
That's
so what you can do?
Right. You did that deal right where you at right now, right?
Yeah, that was Tony. Tony put me
that
on
one
that.
look a whole lot nicer than what I'm talking about.
You said what?
That one look a whole lot nicer than what I'm talking about.
So check it out, Tony. This is what you can do. If it has an underlying mortgage, what you can do, let's say that the mortgage balance doesn't allow you to get hard money because your hard money lender wants you to be 70% all in or whatever their requirements are. Okay. What you can do is you can take over the property subject to, okay? You can either use your own cash for the rehab or you can use private money for the rehab. All right. And now once it's in great condition, now you can refinance. So basically you're doing a BRRRR, but you're doing it with creative finance. You're taking a property over subject to, you're fixing it up with private money. And now that the property is in great condition, of course, before you do anything, you want to make sure you run those numbers to see, after you take the property over subject to, after you add the repairs, that underlying mortgage plus the rehab, what position is that according to the actual value of the property? You see what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you still have enough equity that you can refinance. And I know Chris got a bunch of plugs. I'm with the bank financing or whatever. I'm still a newbie with it. I got addicted early with the creative, but I know most people I know, refis 80%, but I'm pretty sure, he probably knows somebody you can pull out more equity.
Yeah, I got a few people.
Take it over subject. If it needs a lot of work, Tony, underline mortgage, if the deal makes sense. Like I told you, I'm usually not a fan of those generally because I like it to be easy peasy, where as soon as I take title or before I take title,
it's ready to go.
I already got somebody taking care of that note. Leverage, OPM, baby. However, if it's not habitable, but I still see opportunity in it and it has an underlying mortgage, we can take the property over subject to, we can use private money for the rehab, and if our all-in cost gives us enough equity, we can refinance out.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing that you're talking about, but I'm pretty much doing new construction on those deals. That pretty much. One of them is like a super major rehab, and the other one is like a flat out.
Y'all need to go check out his projects, them 2 houses you just built.
Yeah, and I basically got those some of it cash, some of it subject to, because I'm taking over the seller's taxes on her homestead property. So it's a complicated deal, but it all worked out. And then I got, new construction going up pretty much on both of them. And then after I finish it, I'm gonna wrap it and sell it on the finance at 9% interest.
Yeah, Wraparound Mortgage is amazing too, man. Probably about 40% of our portfolio is wraps. Beautiful thing, because if the AC breaks, you can't call Wells Fargo. If something breaks, they can't call me. However, they still have to pay that note. So, guys, anybody on this call, guys, if you guys have any deals, I know Chris does the big deals. I'm a small fry out here, So if anybody got any, like, on single family, on any deals, he like, man, they don't have enough equity, but the seller's motivated, but I don't know what to do. They really want it, but these numbers can't work because they're mortgage, anything like that, guys. And you think the seller, you built the type of rapport that you think that, man, they'll be willing to work with you, and you don't know what to do, guys, man, hit me up. Hit me up. Either I can buy it. Like Tony, this house, I pay Tony a referral fee. But look, we don't have to stop there. We can JV. We can split profits 50-50. I have no problem. If it's a deal that, Chris isn't going to jump on with you guys, hey, come to me.
Hey, man, look, ask any of them. Ask any of them what I do. Tony, what I tell you to do with that one you got right now.
It big. See, we tell them about.
Yeah, I told him send it to y'all.
Same here, bro.
Yeah, I tell everybody that, man. The ones, some deals I know y'all have a better niche, and my job is to give them the game. It's not really my job to try to hog every deal with them. So I'm gonna send them.
And I appreciate it, man. I like the lane that Kristen. Yeah, I respect the lane that Chris in, because I'm gonna be honest, what Chris is doing to me is like, it's intimidating. It's big, right? And there got some people that look at what I do and they get scared. They like, man, all them documents and paperwork. So, I'm learning and, watching what he's doing, and we're kind of in our lane over here, and we all working together and making it happen. And this is how it should be.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man. It's so much.
If we could only get the other 90% of our people to move in the same way, man.
Right. Right. All this other foolery going on, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, I got a quick question for you, man. This is Robert. So I'm out here in Richmond, Texas, and there's a property that I came across riding my bike. No one lives in it. The grass is about a foot or two high. Mm-hmm. It appears to be on maybe an acre or two.
Okay.
I would say maybe from the outside looking in, 2-car garage, maybe 22 to 2,900 square feet on a dirt road. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to go about it and research who the hell to get in touch with.
Okay.
Start going.
Yeah. So start from the ground. First, get the address. All right. Yep. All of that is going to be recorded at the courthouse. You can use something like Deal Machine app just to, because it's quick. Yeah. You can quickly find the person. You don't have to send them any mailers. But now that you got that information, go ahead and skip trace it. Is the property vacant or occupied, or you don't know?
It's vacant. It has to be.
Okay. Check it out. So do your part by getting their information and skip tracing it, right? And reaching out to them. First, call them. They don't answer. Call them again. All right. Don't leave a voicemail on the first call. Okay. Because people are going to screen your calls. Don't show your hand. Call them. If they don't answer, call them right back. Double dial. Anytime you call a seller and they don't pick up, call them right back. That right there, that tip right there is gonna make you guys more money. Think about it. Your friend calls, your mom calls. She calls one time, man, I'm busy cooking steaks. Like I'm busy. She called twice. This must be important.
Yeah.
It's psychology. It's actually statistics. I didn't come up with this. It's an industry standard. Double dialing increases your pickup rate drastically.
Right, so, that's a gem right there, man. I appreciate that.
Big time. Anybody any wholesaler you see doing 6 figures a month, they know that's kind of like elementary to them. Double dial. You got to double dial. If you call somebody, don't pick up, don't leave no voicemail. Worst thing you can do is call them one time, leave a voicemail.
The multiple number too.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you anxiety. I'm gonna call you. You don't answer your phone. I'm gonna call you right back. And depending on how I'm feeling, I might wait 2 minutes. I might call you again. You're gonna be like, "This is important. Let me answer the phone."
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. And check this out. You can even get because look, half of the time is people can't get in touch with people.
Right.
You can't shoot your shot if you can't get open. So with that, you know, you're doing the dialing signal. You might call them. They don't answer. Call them right back. Guys, just try that tomorrow and watch what happens. If you call somebody, they don't answer, call them right back. But another thing is, if you call somebody 8 times on a Tuesday at a certain time and they don't pick up, maybe don't call them on Tuesday in the morning. Mm-hmm. Call them in the evening. Maybe they work in the prison and they don't have their phone. All right. They'll never be available at that time. All right. So try multiple times a day. Also get a call rail, call from different numbers with different area codes. So if you call them for a 713 number in the morning and you couldn't get in touch with them, you call them in the evening, don't call them from the same 713 number. Call them from a 281 number.
Straight up.
Or 346. That's just advanced strategy. It's small, guys, but those little small tweaks make the world of a difference.
So you say you guys
you on mute, Chris?
No, on mute, Chris.
Yeah, I was saying, can y'all touch on VAs for a second with them? Like,
oh man,
bad and ugly.
I'll let Byron. I didn't talk too much. It's funny because one of my friends here, Kappa, he a broker too. You know, you probably know him, Brandon Johnson, Duck.
Yeah, Duck. I know Duck.
Yeah, but he was calling us today, man. We was in a meeting and he kind of like he was hitting both of us up at the same time. We finally answered. We stayed on the phone for about an hour, giving the game on VAs. But I'm gonna let Byron take this one. Man, we got experience to tell you guys about VAs. Y'all think y'all just got some gems? Man, let them have it, Byron. About VAs.
So in terms of VAs, you know what I mean? So I'm going to say it's 2 ways you definitely want to go about it, right? You can source the VAs yourself through like a onlinejobs.ph, right? And you're going to probably find VAs at really, really low rates, right? You're going to get the best rates, anywhere from $3 to maybe $6 an hour, depending on what they do. Or you can go through services, which I recommend. If you're new to it, I definitely recommend, and you don't have your systems in place, you don't have things like core values and real solid structure and KPIs and all that kind of stuff in place to monitor that stuff, you're probably better off going through a service that all they do is screen VAs. That's it. All they do is screen VAs to find high quality VAs, right? So you got 2 ways of doing it. You can do it yourself or you can use a service. The reason but the things you want to watch out for when you do it yourself is that, especially in the real estate. So once you click real estate and you're needing something for real estate specific services, what you find is a lot of these VAs have been burnt by real estate investors. They have, they'll get a job for 2 weeks. Real estate investor just disappear on them for another, for the rest of it. All this funny kind of stuff that goes on. So a lot what the VAs have done is they've kind of, they call it, I guess they figure they playing it smart, but in reality they scamming people, right? So what they're doing is they're working for multiple real estate investors at a time. So you definitely want to ask them what is their availability, right? And if they give you some weird time that they're available, then that's just send out some red flags. This person may be working for multiple people at a time, okay? So that's red flag number 1. Red flag number 2 is you want to make sure that you have systems in place to track their KPIs, like how many calls they're making, how many leads they're providing you, whatever the specific metrics that you want them to do, make sure that they're staying on top of that. You also want to use a system called Hubstaff. I'm gonna type it in the chat. And what Hubstaff does, if I can, I don't think it's gonna allow me. But anyway, what Hubstaff does is it allows you to take screenshots of their computer, okay? it takes like a screenshot every 10 minutes, right? And it basically lets you know exactly what they're doing at that particular time. And it also allows them to clock in. Right here, this is onlinejobs.ph. So you'll find all of these right here. Look, I mean, great prices. Look, $309 a month. That is like crazy.
Guys, did y'all hear what Byron just said? The software, what it does, because you're dealing with people that's working for your company overseas, right? The software takes screenshots of their computer screen like every 10 seconds. And it also gives you a productivity score, like based on, you know what I mean, if their mouse is moving, if they're busy. All right? Because the biggest thing when you employ somebody and you have them hourly is them riding the clock. Everybody knows it. I mean, it's just typical W-2 employee mentality. All right, what time is it? God dang, it ain't 5 o'clock yet, right? And
work.
Yeah, and so if you're not commissioned, you're hourly, it's just a natural tendency of people to be like, how can I do the least amount of work and still get paid? How can I do enough not to get fired, right? Just get paid. It's just natural for the majority of employees. It's just, you know, and of course you got the people, I don't know if any of you guys still hold jobs, but you got the employees that shine, like they go hard and they're the ones that go up in management. But the average employee, they're not going to want to do all of that. They're going to be like, man, how can I do just the most enough not to get fired? So that software that he's talking about, it really helps for you to hold people accountable. And also for quality control, for integrity, because that's how we caught our last VA doing some things that violated our core values. Yeah. Byron, you want to share that experience with us?
Oh, man. Yeah, so what she was doing, she was so cold with it, Chris. Listen to this one. She was basically subcontract. Because see, her English was so good, right? So that's another thing you got to be, you know, because she sounded so good over the phone, and she said everything right. She gave us the warm and fuzzies. We were just excited. We thought we was going to make $1 million with this VA, right?
Are we fell in love?
Yo, it was
literally, bro. Matter of fact, no, y'all got to see this. I'm about to email the clip to my email and put it up. Like literally, it was us two and our admin. And literally, bro, we got warm and fuzzies. We were just like, yo, like this is
amazing. And the whole time, look, this is what she did. The first like week or so, she was doing pretty good. She was sending us leads. Her numbers was decent. And then the next week, you know what I mean, the numbers started dropping off a little bit, right? And we track that kind of stuff heavy, you know what I mean? So you ain't finna just skate too long, right? And come to find out the whole time what she was like the front. She was the front person, and she had subcontractor VAs working underneath her. You feel? Subcontractor.
So tell her how we caught her, like the trend.
Okay, so we caught her because what we started doing, our admin, she started listening in on the calls, and it was like a whole different person. Like, you know what I mean? Like a completely different person, heavy accent, deep voice. It was weird. So we listening to it, and then so we call her out on it. You know what I mean? We get her on the phone, and bro.
So look,
break it down.
So we was basically like, let me show you the trend first. So the trend was the first week she came, we was like, man, yo, we won, right? Maybe COVID, you know, everybody closed up shop, and we lucked up, and we got, you know, some of the best talent, right? And so the first week was good. The second week, she got distracted. She ended up doing like some other stuff because of a little miscommunication. So then something she said happened with her family member, a brother going to jail. So, week 2, she did really well. She got some leads, like, dang, she kicking off quick. Week 3, she was doing the wrong things, you know, getting distracted, not really doing, and she didn't really have any. So, and then she had to be out. And so when she came back for week 4, we was like, look, Sasha, this is what we want you to do. This is what you're responsible for and nothing else, okay? Let me see. And so week 4, we just noticed that like she really wasn't producing at all. Okay. And so what we did was we was like, yo, what's going on? Like what's going on? So what we did was we checked on the call tools. That was the dollar. No. What did we check her?
It was on Mojo.
Oh yeah, the dollar.
And on
call. And we listened. We listened in on our calls, and we was like, yo, that don't sound like her. That sound like a overweight older lady. Like, you know, it was like, it was just weird.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when we listened, it was all 3 of it. It was me, Byron, and our admin. We listened for like 5-6 calls, and we was like, yo, that ain't her. I remember this like the back of my hand. I was at Herman Park with the wife. You know what I mean? I was just listening on phone like, yo, that ain't her. We was like, let's call her. So we were blowing her up. We couldn't get her on the phone, and we was like, yo, what's going on? If you on the clock, you need to answer, right? Because everybody's not commissioned. Our VAs are hourly. So if we call them and they're on the clock, they need to answer, right? So we finally got on the phone, and we was like, hey, you know, you've been making calls and everything. How's it been going? And she's like, yeah, I'm making calls. And I'm like, all right. So yeah, so we were listening to your calls, and you know, it sounded kind of, you know, weird, and we just kind of, you know, wanted to know what was going on. You know, she said, yeah, you know, I've been making calls. Okay. It was like, America, you mind playing one of those calls? And so we're on the phone on 3-way with her, and we played the call that we heard. And after the call, you know, finished, I was like, hey, Sasha, who was that? She hung up the phone. We never heard from her again. Caught her red-handed. She just went ghost.
Yeah. She went ghost. We never talked to her. I don't even think she hit us up for her last paycheck, bro. It was like, it was.
Wow. Yeah, bro. When she was working for 3-4
with that
weeks,
paycheck. I don't even want
like,
that shit.
Yeah, so she got caught red-handed. And the VA before that was with us, what, almost a year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, he's selling our leads. He's selling our leads to other companies.
Yeah, another investor, I guess he was doing some shady stuff. Kind of like you got the side piece, right? And the side piece get mad at you, so she tell on you. Like, that's exactly what it felt like.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Like, as far as, you know what I'm saying? Because what happened was another investor reached out to us and said, hey, man, I just want y'all to know, I remember this like it was yesterday. I was in Amsterdam. All right. Byron was like, yo, you got that email about Raymond? I was like, what? Nah. I said, man, we've been out. He said, man, check your email. I checked my email. I seen an email from another investor that Byron knew. Basically telling on our VA, said, yo, he been selling leads. He was supposed to do something for me. He didn't do it and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, he's been selling leads and doing this. So we confront him about it. You know, he basically flipped the script. Oh, I'm so, you know, my integrity, and I'm so embarrassed right now. Like he was like, man, no, I went out to lunch with the guy and I did a screen record. I went to the restroom and he
took over the leads off my.
Basically, the dog ate my homework type.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, like you just a liar, bro. Like just keep it one. So that was another experience with a VA, and how we caught it was another investor pointed out. But we had to let him go. But I don't trust the other investor either, because it really didn't add up. What probably happened is he was probably doing some shady shit with Raymond, and when they fell out, he just snitched on him. You know,
right? And Raymond wasn't supposed to be working anyway. But I'm gonna make this quick point. So
VA hub staff, quality control.
Quality control, hub staff. Also, if you sourcing your own VAs, which I don't necessarily recommend, because both of those we sourced ourselves. They gave us the warm and fuzzies, and then they was screwing us over the whole time. So I don't recommend, if you don't have experience with hiring or don't. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Let me see. The file was too big. I couldn't email it to myself. Look. Look at this.
It's a very big advantage for me. It's very convenient for me to work at home and have them here with me while I'm working. So it's really convenient.
She sounded good.
Man, selling dreams. Bro, you're not gonna find many Filipinos that sound like that. Yo, she had personality, like she was cool, she knew. she catch jokes, like she can joke. It wasn't like you're dealing with somebody from another country. Like,
At all.
it seemed like she lived here for a while. But
Yeah.
basically, we caught the scheme. She was probably the face because all these people you interview, a lot of them gonna have heavy accents, right? When we talked to her, we was like, yo, like, she sound like the homie.
She sound like she stayed on the street.
Yeah, but what happened, it's probably just a ring organization. She probably was the face. She probably landed the interview. She outsourced, you know, and so on. So, but let me do this math for you guys real quick. Check this out. Somebody that's, let's say $400, let's say $700 a month, all right? These people have bachelor's and master's. Some of these people got more education than me, right? It's just a different country, all right? So somebody with a bachelor's degree working 40 hours a week for you, all you coming up with $700 a month, $700 a month to pay them to work 40 hours a week, doing anything, that's the ultimate form of leverage. So if you guys are working and you guys close a deal and make $10,000, $15,000, guys, do yourself a favor. You gonna make $15,000, guys, put away. Even if you wanted to experiment for 3 months, put away $3,000 out of your $15,000 you just made to leverage and stop doing the tedious tasks.
Straight up.
Somebody can be pulling your records. Somebody could be calling for you, and you're paying $700 a month for somebody with a bachelor's degree to work 40 hours a week. It's almost like cheating. It's not fair.
Hey, Brian, you talked about, so I'm looking at just the person you have up on the screen, and I'm looking at, okay, data entry. That sparked something to make me think about how do you go about protecting your data and your information, or is it just, you know, taking a calculated risk using it?
Man, it's risk, man. I mean, entrepreneurship is risky. Right. Like Jim Rohn, one of my favorite, I call him my mentor, man. That's probably one of my most influential people is Jim Rohn. It's all risky. Right. I mean, it's, you know, he said, you know, getting a job is risky. Having kids is risky. It's all risky. Investing is risky. Not investing is risky. So what I'm getting at is that you can't, I mean, there's really nothing you can do. I mean, because once you hire somebody, you let them in a place that you know that they, if they're somebody that doesn't have integrity, that you're vulnerable. It's like that with everybody. I mean, I work for a company, Exxon. Let's say if I really wanted to, I could have just cut some tanks together in 30 minutes. I could have cost the company $5 million, easy. Right. I could shut down a pump. I could cut 2 tanks together on purpose, or I could, you know. So it's just a risk you got to take. But what you can do is, this is what I would do. Be very good with your interview and asking uncomfortable questions and really getting good on your communication skills and being able to read people. All right.
And get real with people too. I think another thing.
All right.
All them canned over professional interviews.
We stopped.
That ain't the way.
We stopped doing that.
Keep it real with people. Like when you keep it real with people, it removes the fake. People just can act fake. Even if they act professional, because they're supposed to act professional with you, you don't want to be so professional to where you can't get across kind of the things that your expectations and what you expect from them. You know what I mean? Your core values.
Let them take that guard down when they feel like you relax too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Man, so what we were doing, because everything that we do within our company, we try to do it, you know what I mean, like super official. So the same thing was with interviews. It was super like kind of formal and everything. But then I had a little aha moment, and I thought about it. I was like, wait up. If you're over the age of 16, you know the right questions to answer in an interview. If you had more than 2 jobs in your life, you know how to answer interview questions correctly. It's kind of like common etiquette. Like you're supposed to know how to respond. Well, you know, if you caught somebody stealing, you know, what would you do? You know, why do you think you're a good fit for this company? And everybody's all looking nice and neat. Well, it's like y'all just playing interview. Yeah. They know the exact if you're not a dumbass, you know what to say to land the interview every single time. And so that's great when you're a big company with, you know what I mean, huge staff, you know, let's say 50, a big company to do it like that, right? However, if you're just starting or you're a smaller company,
You need rock stars, cuz.
man, you need rock stars, you need killers. So in an interview, I don't get uncomfortable, but I kind of come at people's neck. I just let them know, like, look, this is who we are. This is what we do. Hey, here's one of our employees. This is what they did. Here's one of our employees. This is what they did. Here's our core values. Does this seem like it'd be a fit for you? Does this resonate with who you are as a person? You know, our last like 3 interviews we had, we ditched the formal approach. It was literally like, man, we just went outside somewhere, you know, because with Corona. I remember our last hire, we was outside of HEB, and we just shot it straight. Like, look, this is what we do. This is how we do it. Here's what you can expect. It's not easy. And so, like, the cool thing about that is that if they get uncomfortable and they like, I'm uncomfortable and I don't think this is a fit, great. You want that now instead of later.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that part of you talking about the setting expectations and even, I guess, transparency, it's like, hey, look, we are monitoring, like you were talking about, I think it was an app or something to monitor their computer, right? Do you tell them that?
So we don't go that far.
Okay.
What we'll harp on is we'll harp on our core values.
Okay.
You know, we'll just harp on our core values.
Because it's not about playing gotcha, right? It's not about.
Yeah, I'm not trying to scare you before you get the job. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do.
We just want you to know our expectations and what we hold dear, and we want you to be honest, and we throw you off, right, to where you can't answer that question professionally or you know what I'm saying? Like we ask questions that kind of like catch you off guard, and we appeal to your better nature by kind of like, yo, like if this something that fits you, then this is where you want to be. But if you're not really ready to come and give 110%, then it may not be a fit for you. And we fine with that, right? I'm
about to drop some gems for y'all, man. Look, Byron, look, this is for y'all VIP that's on the call today. I'm gonna give you this is what we'll harp on. So this right here is our company core values. This is who we are, and we stand by it. Like like any person that works for our company, they can tell you these core values off the top of their head without seeing them. And in everyday business, people like will recite like a core value if it's relevant. And so when we interview anybody, a VA or anybody in-house, we let them know, right? They introduce themselves, but we introduce ourselves personally, but we introduce the company. Number 1 is integrity and corruptibility. We let them know, like, hey, we can't teach that. That's our number 1. Results over excuses. We don't want to hear why I didn't get done. Just get it done, or just have egg on your face and say I didn't get it done. Team player, willing to step in and help out. Positive can-do attitude. Number 5 is probably my favorite. We do whatever it takes in every situation. Number 6, I actually stole that from ExxonMobil, Fortune 3 company, committed to continuous improvement. And number 7 is biblical, responsible. To whom much is given, much is required. So if somebody want to come and they want to, go crazy and make, crazy amount of money, like our top acquisitions manager, like, yo, that just don't land on your lap, right? And so what we do is we keep our interviews real, and we let them know who we are exactly, and then we feed them out. Because you're going to see if somebody start acting nervous or shaky, or, you intimidate them. Because if we intimidate them, we want them to run away.
Mm-hmm.
They're not a fit.
Bang, bang,
Straight up.
That's powerful.
So,
right,
I mean, I can honestly say, and I think Byron agreed because we was talking about this today, we can honestly say to date, this is the first time we feel like we have no slacker that works for the company.
Straight up.
Damn.
And we had to learn that a hard way. And it was, I promise, we had so many uncomfortable moments getting rid of people until not that we like fire, like, because we don't get rid of that many people, right? Like, really, the people that's been with us.
Yeah.
However, there is little apprehension to getting rid of the cancers.
Because the thing about it is superstars don't play well with slackers. So and superstars will resent you as a leader.
They won't respect you.
Slackers on the squad.
Yeah, they be like, you ain't
They
got
won't
balls.
go hard.
They won't go hard. If you got Jordan scoring 60 points in the playoffs, giving it all, diving on the board, and you got one of the starters, like, not even working hard in practice, kind of like whatever, barely getting by, he gonna want to get traded. He gonna work somebody else. Or he's gonna lose respect for the coach.
Yeah, A players want A players.
Yeah, like, it's disgusting. It's like, you're a slacker.
No, you can't compromise it. You have to have A players working with A players, period. It ain't.
So that right there is a golden gem right there. I know we was talking about, what's it called? The topic was VAs, but it's the same thing. It's employment. Yeah, anytime you hire somebody, they represent you as a company. So if these people are dialing out on behalf of Tony Davis LLC, right? That's a big thing, because now you guys are related. Mm-hmm. So with that, guys, don't feel bad as far as trimming the fat. Guys, I would rather get rid of every acquisitions manager and be in the field every single day, locking up contracts, before I have an acquisitions manager that doesn't align with the core values.
Straight up.
Powerful. Bro, I really appreciate y'all tonight, man. Y'all done did above and beyond what I thought y'all was going to do.
All right, man. I know you didn't ask for all of that, but hey.
Yeah, no. Hey, but look, Brian, pull up the turbo skip screen one more time, and I want everybody on here to, like, take a picture or take a video with the screen up, and I want y'all to post it on your Instagram stories.
Let's see, turbo skip.
So, because we want to get the word out. As long as they stay in business and they thriving, that's better for y'all. So.
And guys, man, any deal is about to be crazy.
Oh yeah, you got some updates?
Oh man, we working on it, man. We working on it. This update, man, just know it's gonna be some powerful features in there.
Love it.
Hey, Brian, I was I don't know if I was DMing you or not. But it was from the Any Deal Instagram page. And I wasn't getting the notifications whenever y'all send out the emails, like on the trainings and all that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure. Fuck.
Oh, yeah. Battery died.
Yeah, his battery died. We'll get that straight, Tony. What I'll do is I'll post it in the group chat too, so everybody will know about it.
That'll work. Yeah,
I
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, Byron, appreciate you, brother.
No doubt. I'll let y'all.
I appreciate y'all's time, man.
No doubt.
Thanks again for everything.
All right. So anybody got any open deals you want to talk about? Got about 15 more minutes.
I chopped it over with Sylvester earlier today. I sent them over the contract. I got it signed yesterday. Okay. And so we said we're going to have to, of course, go through the whole title part, but he said we should be good.
Okay, so why don't you walk everybody through that one so they know what you're talking about.
Okay. This one was a situation where I found the property driving for dollars, and it's kind of like a probate situation. The person whose name is under, they passed away, but they were common law married to a husband, and he's kind of elderly, so his mom was his power of attorney. So I went into contract with her. And the property is it has a mortgage balance. They're about 11,000 arrears, about 60,000. ARV is like 169, and so I offered them 10,000 cash at closing, and then take over their payments, and they agreed with it. So at this point, we're getting ready to start the process rolling as far as opening title and making sure the heirs and all that's taken care of. So that's what we have with it right now.
Yeah. So basically, what he said was the mortgage balance on it is like 60,000. Dude not living there. They 11,000 in arrears, so that probably means they owe about a little under 70 all in. And he told them, well, I'll give you 10,000 on top of that, and I'll just take over the payments, get it caught up. So it's like right at 80 grand. House is worth 165. You think, Tony? Is what you said?
Like 169, I want to say.
Yeah, so about 170. You know, so that's a good pickup. You know, that has several plays you can do with that owner financing it. You can wholesale that, get it, close on it, and relist on MLS for like 90 or 100. Or the easy win is just to give it to somebody else that wants to buy subject twos, and you take that 10,000 that you promised them, you add onto that whatever you want to get from the investor at closing, and then you rock with it like that. So in this case, we're gonna try to do 20 grand, see if we get an investor to bite, you know, and then keep it moving.
So sorry about that, man. Computer down on y'all, man.
Oh yeah, no, you good.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, likewise, bro. We really
appreciate it, Chris. Hey, best success to y'all, man. Y'all keep winning, man. And
right. Thank you.
All right, boss. Talk to y'all later.
Appreciate it, bro. Have a good night. Yeah. Okay. So Tony, how many heirs that we're gonna be dealing with?
Well, I think they said the woman who passed away, I believe she has 3 kids. I think he has 3 kids as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So guys, whenever y'all run into a situation, the most important part is just getting somebody to sign the contract. Like, don't worry about trying to get in contact with everybody right away. Once you get under contract, then you can submit that signed contract to the title company, and the title company will help you with the rest of the documents. They'll get you all the documents you need. They'll do the real research, and they'll make sure that everybody that's claiming they have a right to it actually has a right to it, and they'll show you what you need to do for the ones that's hard to get in contact with. So yeah, your main focus is just getting a wet signature on that contract to get started.
It's even cool because the mother was like, even if it's just $100, as long as they get something, I'm okay with it. Because they know the property been sitting there forever. She just want to do something with it. So
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, I had a quick question about foreclosure. I know with the pandemic and stuff going on, there was was there like a hold being placed on houses being foreclosed on, or what?
Yeah, there was, but it should be lifted. I know that like the courts open back up. Some of them have already opened back up. So for evictions and I think foreclosure will start again next month, unless the government decides to extend that again. But as of right now, yeah, the process will start next month. So you'll start seeing probably November, December is when we're going to get a full plate again of like strong list of leads of foreclosures. So and anybody can get to before that. Some of the smart people will start. You know, they know they milk the clock as long as they can. And so the smart ones will start negotiating early before it actually goes to sale. So now is definitely time to start. If you got any people that you was working with before, you know, that you stopped talking to because of what happened, now is the time to start following up with them again. You know, check in with them, just make sure they made it through the crisis okay. You know, small talk conversation, build that rapport with them, and try to figure out where they are personally with their situation, and you know, offer to help. Don't, you know, it's not really about I want to buy the house. It's all about like, how can I help you move on and get to this next station in life, you know? So.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah.
I did have another question, man. I'm still working on a ranch in Hempstead.
Okay.
And the lady is being kind of stubborn, man. And I've been talking with her back and forth every 2 or 3 weeks just to keep building rapport, but trying to find a way to structure like a price reduction. But she not budging at all, so.
Yeah,
man. I guess I'll just continue to keep following up, and she want retail for it.
Yeah, no, like it's one of those things where you just you can't convince them when you want them to be convinced. You know what I mean? You gotta just like keep with them, and eventually she'll be like, okay, I'll just go ahead and do this deal, you know. Or they may get a situation, unfortunately, where she's in a position where she's, you know, may have something where she needs money, and she may be more apt to take less. But right now, she's she's pretty comfortable. I mean, if they had that type of money, she probably got something nice when he passed, you know, some type of life insurance policy or something. So she never. Yeah. So
we kind of got great reports. So she hit me up, and we would just talk about regular stuff. But
yeah,
man, I don't want to be too pushy, like you said. So every now and then, I'll just we just have regular conversation. But if it comes up, I'll just try to see about the reduction every now and then. But you want to give up on it.
That's definitely the way to go. Yeah, keep that relationship, because whenever she does make a decision, you want to be the one she thinks about first.
All right, cool.
Hey, Chris. Do you know I don't know whether it be a book or a video or just a resource on the negotiation of financing terms with a bank? Understanding that better. You know what I mean?
Let me think. I have to figure out a resource for you for that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I can find some videos on YouTube that'll probably give you the best and most common explanation, because a book, unless it's written this year or last year, like everything changes so frequently.
Okay.
Yeah, you really okay, give me an example. What type of question are you thinking about that you have?
So it's just, so if I was like, hey, and wanted to go and I'm just making something up here, go and purchase a quad, right? Mm-hmm. And then go and shop into different financial institutions, shopping in different financial institutions mm-hmm. is just wanting to go in, with the tools and the knowledge to say, okay, these are the levers to pull, and this is the knowledge that I need to have in having those negotiations with the financial institutions.
Well, I mean, it's like four key points that they're going to be looking for, right?
Okay.
If you're going to a financial institution, credit does matter. Okay.
Okay.
So, but each institution has their own credit criteria. So, right. You're going to want to know, number one, like the credit score they want, and the other part of credit is your debt to income ratio. So they're going to want to know, how much do you pay out every month versus what you take in.
Okay.
Another part of it, especially if you're buying multifamily units, is are they occupied or not? If they're occupied, you want to know what percentage of the rent will they credit towards your income, right?
Okay.
So if you make let's say you're bringing in $5,000 a month, and let's say the place you're bringing in, say, is 4 doors, they bring $1,000 each. Okay, so that's a total of $9,000 a month. But they're not gonna give you the full $4,000 that comes from the house from the investment property to credit towards your income. They may say, we'll give you 70% of that. So so then you just gotta know what that number is. So that means they'll credit like 68. Like 2,800. Is that right? No, like 30, like 2,900, something like that, of the 4,000 towards your income. So they'll, on paper, it look like you make about 7,900 a month if you work.
Okay.
So that, of course, the typical things you want to ask them about: the origination, which is the points the percentage that they charge you just to close the deal.
All right.
And then you also want to ask them about of course, the interest rate. You want to know what the interest rate is on the loan. And I think those are the key things. I think when you do, if you do talk to multiple banks at a time, try to get all those quotes within a week, and then you can kind of shop them against each other and say, well, this other bank gave me this,
right.
And that's really the only type of leverage you have with a banking institution, because the person you're dealing with is just an employee that's in a position and is given criteria by, his boss on what he can and what he can't approve as a loan. And he's not gonna want to submit a bunch of deals that he knows once he takes your application and submits it, so there's two different departments. So the people you talk to, they're basically sales, right? And they're trying to get people to apply for loans. Then you got underwriting, which is a whole different department, and they're like a check and balances. So the underwriting actually goes in and says, okay, Tom, you brought us this dude. You said he had this and this and this. Now we're going to check everything. We're going to look at all these bank statements. We're going to look at everything you told us he had, everything you let him put in his application. And we're going to make sure he really qualifies for this loan. So that banker or that lender is not going to take a bunch of people through that process if he knows that the underwriter is going to keep kicking them out. So,
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so you just got to know, like I said, ask each one individually what their terms are.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was looking for. I was trying to figure out the key points for consideration. Just knowing the levers that I need to be aware of.
Right. And also another one would be like the number of mortgages you already have on your record, on your credit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Okay. All right. Anybody else got any questions?
Got one for you, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
With the one that we doing with Rob,
yeah,
I think the seller may be under the impression that I'm actually be purchasing the property and keeping it for myself. Do you think kind of we should not disclose to them, but let them know that the property may not fit my personal criteria, but I am going to guarantee you the number that you have, because I believe they're going to look at it again tomorrow.
Yeah, just tell them you're thinking about. Tell them you met somebody that really wants a house, and what you're thinking about doing is just letting them owner finance it from you. Tell them you're gonna pay cash for it, but you're gonna let them owner finance it from you. Just try to give them an opportunity. And when you tell a story like that, you're not lying. That's really what you're gonna do. but it makes them feel a little bit more comfortable, like you're not just trying to sell it off to somebody, you know?
Right. That's why I was trying to put them at ease, like just saying that we are going to promise you the number we guaranteed you, but it just may not fit my criteria. Which is why we tried to come up with a lower price in the beginning. So.
Right. Yeah.
So just tell them I may be on the financing to the end buyer.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well.
All right. Anybody else?
Should be cool for me.
All right. If not, we'll wrap it up, man. I'll have this recording up hopefully by tomorrow. And anybody wants to replay, catch anything that was in there, you know, it'll be available in the Dropbox. All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, man.
Appreciate it.